So this is problem number 35 out of Lippman section 4, 3.6, and it's on page 217. And they want us to simplify each. Oh no, that's not it. They want us to find all zeros and write those over linear factors. Is what they're basically telling us. That's what that problem on My Open Math is asking us to do. So there's ways to do this analytically without any graphing technology. We can also use a little graphing technology to help us out. So I'm seeing here, graph that function, and I'm seeing a fourth degree equation. So I know this function is not going to turn around and head back down. But I'm seeing only one real zero. It's only touching the x-axis once at 1/2, and that has multiplicity 2. So that accounts for 2 of the 4 zeros that they're supposed to be. So because there's no other real zeros, I know there's going to be this 1/2 that counts twice. It's a multiplicity 2, and then there's going to be 2 complex zeros. Now I got to find them. So I'm going to run synthetic division through this. So I started the synthetic division. Remember, I'm not missing any powers of x, so I didn't have to include any zeros here. And now I just start with the synthetic division. I brought down the 4, and then 4 times 1/2 is 2. Then negative 4 plus 2 is -2. Negative 2 times 1/2 is -1, which becomes 12. 12 times 1/2 is 6, which is -6, and -6 times 1/2 is -3, and we get a 0, as we knew we should. Now, this counts twice. This is multiplicity 2, so I'm just going to run the 1/2 through right again. 4, 4, and I'm not going back to the original, because if I do that, I still have an x. This line of the synthetic division would be 4x to the third minus 2x squared. I want to get et cetera, and I want this to be a quadratic, not a cubic. So I'm just going to keep going with that, divide it by the 2x plus 1 factor again. So 4 times 1/2 is 2. That gives me 0. 0 times anything is 0. That's going to give me 12. 12 times 1/2 is 6. I'm going to get 0. So I've got, there's my multiplicity 2. What I have left is 4x squared plus 12, and I want to know, when does that equal 0? So subtract 12, divide by 4. I get x squared equals, well, let me better not do that part yet. I'm going to get x squared plus 3. Well, no, I divided by 4, sorry. Need more coffee. So 12, what I was trying to do is I can factor out a 4. So I could write it this way. Set it equal to 0, then divide by 4. Or you could just bring the 12 over. That would leave you 4x squared equals -12. Divide by 4, x squared equals -3, which is what we'd get here. If we divided by 4, that would leave us x squared plus 3 equals 0, which would give us right back to this. So then I'm going to take the square root of this. So when I take the square root of a negative number, remember I got to have the plus or minus because of the square root, but I'm going to get I square root of 3. So what do I have for linear factors? I have x minus 1/2 times x minus 1/2 times x plus I root 3 and x minus I root 3. Now, the only thing I would probably tweak with this is that writing x minus 1/2 is technically right, but really what we usually do is we're going to make it so those are integers. So 2x, that would give me the same result. All he did was took the 2 and multiplied it by the x. I mean, maybe we could write this as 2x minus 1 quantity squared. I don't know if My Open Math would like that. I think it's looking for the 4 linear factors. But that's what you do. And there's the linear factors. We found all the zeros, and there's the linear factors. And if you're really interested in learning how to do this by hand, I can show you how to do that using Descartes' rule of signs, but I'm not expecting you to do it that way. Okay, so that's what you do. Hope that helps.